It's the dead of winter in 1806. A lone Prussian soldier marches through the snow, staring at the ruins of what used to be East Prussia's stronghold. Behind him, ashes. Ahead, Napoleon's forces are advancing, relentless, like a tidal wave swallowing Europe whole. Poland is gone. But what if I told you that this didn't have to happen? That Prussia, a military powerhouse, a kingdom once feared for its discipline and might, made one fatal error. One that not only cost it Poland, but altered the balance of power in Europe forever. This is the story of Prussia's critical mistake. And trust me, you won't look at history the same after this. Welcome to Bizarre Blips, where history isn't just told, it's uncovered. Today, we're diving into the little-known blunder that led to the loss of Poland during the Napoleonic Wars. We'll unravel secret alliances, backstabbing monarchs, and a miscalculation so devastating it left one of Europe's strongest kingdoms shattered. Stick around, because this isn't just about a lost battle. It's about how arrogance, fear, and a misplaced sense of honor cost Prussia everything. And in the end, it may have cost Europe its stability. Let's rewind. Before Napoleon rose to power, Prussia was already becoming a juggernaut. The 18th century had seen a quiet transformation from regional power to military titan. Under Frederick the Great, the Prussian military became synonymous with discipline. Their strategies were sharp, their soldiers ruthless, and their bureaucracy a marvel of efficiency. But this rapid growth came with an appetite, and that appetite turned to Poland. The partitions of Poland, conducted between 1772 and 1795 by Prussia, Russia, and Austria, were nothing short of political cannibalism. In a few short decades, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was wiped off the map. Poland didn't fall in battle. It was dismantled through treaties, betrayed by its neighbors, erased by the ink of diplomacy. And Prussia? It gained vital territory, resources, and a ticking time bomb of national resentment. Fast forward to 1789. The French Revolution ignites a firestorm across Europe. Monarchies panic, nobles flee, heads roll, and in the ashes of the old regime, a military genius emerges, Napoleon Bonaparte. Prussia watches carefully but cautiously. Unlike Austria and Britain, who jump into coalitions to counter France, Prussia chooses neutrality. Why? Because it believes it has time. Time to strengthen, time to observe, time to decide who to back. But while Prussia debates, Napoleon conquers. Italy falls. Austria is humbled. The Holy Roman Empire collapses. And still, Prussia waits. It was the ultimate gamble. And the stakes? The future of Europe. Diplomacy can be a weapon, but in Prussia's hands during the early 1800s, it became a blade turned inward. As France strengthened, Prussia grew paranoid, torn between Britain, Austria, and Russia, each with their own demands. Prussia opted for half steps and secret deals. In 1705, while the Third Coalition waged war, Prussia signed the Treaty of Potsdam with Russia, a vague agreement that meant little. Instead of committing troops or strategy, Prussia did what it had perfected: postponed, parlayed, and procrastinated. But Napoleon didn't wait. He moved quickly, sensing Prussia's hesitation. By 1806, Napoleon had pushed too far. He entered the German Confederation, consolidated power in the Confederation of the Rhine, and marginalized Prussia's influence. Enraged, King Frederick William III issued an ultimatum: withdraw French troops from Germany or face war. Napoleon didn't flinch. He saw through the threat. He knew Prussia was unprepared. And so, before the ink was dry, Napoleon launched a preemptive strike. The result? The Battle of Jena-Auerstedt, one of the most humiliating defeats in Prussian history. 2 battles, 1 day, and the mighty Prussian army shattered. Out of 250,000 troops, more than half were dead, wounded, or captured. The kingdom crumbled. As Napoleon carved his way through Central Europe, he did something extraordinary. He revived Poland. Not entirely, of course, but he created the Duchy of Warsaw from the territories Prussia and Austria had taken. It was a political statement, a slap in the face to Prussia. To the Polish people, Napoleon was a liberator. Thousands of Polish soldiers joined his ranks, hoping he would restore their homeland. Prussia had once helped destroy Poland. Now it watched, powerless, as Napoleon reassembled it. The irony? Unbearable. The treaties of Tilsit in 1807 sealed Prussia's fate. Frederick William III was forced to meet Napoleon on a raft in the middle of the Niemen River. He was humiliated, powerless, reduced to a figurehead. Prussia lost over half its territory. It was forced to pay indemnities, host French troops, and accept the Duchy of Warsaw. The once proud kingdom was now a vassal, and Poland back on the map. Napoleon had done in 2 years what Polish patriots had dreamed of for decades. But Napoleon's Poland came at a price. It was not independent. It was strategic, a buffer zone, a recruitment pool. Still, Poles believed. They hoped. They gave their lives in battles from Spain to Russia, wearing uniforms of a foreign emperor, dreaming of sovereignty. When Napoleon marched into Russia in 1812, Polish troops marched with him, hoping that victory would bring full freedom. But the dream died in the snow. The Russian campaign destroyed Napoleon's army, and with it, Polish hopes. After its collapse, Prussia did something unexpected. It learned. Reforms were initiated, the army was rebuilt, education restructured, nationalism cultivated. By 1813, Prussia rejoined the fight against Napoleon in the War of the Sixth Coalition. And this time, it played its cards right. At Leipzig, Prussian troops helped break Napoleon's grip. At Waterloo, Prussia arrived just in time, but the scars of 1806 never fully healed. Prussia's hesitation reshaped Europe. It led to the temporary rebirth of Poland, the dominance of France, and a complete overhaul of Prussian society. It also taught a generation of leaders that passivity in the face of change is as deadly as defeat in battle. The critical error wasn't just losing a war, it was failing to act when action mattered most. It was believing that time was on their side. It wasn't. So what does this teach us? That timing can be everything, that political missteps can redraw entire maps, and that sometimes nations fall not because they were weak, but because they were too slow to understand the game had changed. Poland's fate was sealed in the backrooms of diplomacy, but revived through the missteps of its enemies. And Prussia? It had to fall before it could rise again. Thanks for watching Bizarre Blips. If you found this journey through Prussia's greatest mistake and Poland's brief resurrection fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell. Let us know in the comments, was Napoleon truly Poland's savior, or just another emperor playing chess? Because history is never just black and white. It's written in blunders, blood, and bizarre blips. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and as always, stay bizarre.